Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Lots to talk about. Now, a fight I'm really looking forward to because it's almost a circus level fight, a fight that I thought probably wouldn't even happen because they were going to pretty much opposite spectrums in their career, and the weights were different, and it just looked like they're at different places in their career. Chavez lost to like Fonfara, Canelo lost to Mayweather. It just didn't look like it was going to happen. But this is a fight that's been talked about since they both were becoming known in America, and there's even a post-fight, and Canelo called out Chavez Jr. So this is a long time coming. They've taken jabs at each other publicly in interviews and stuff in the past. So now we're getting it May 6th. It's at a Canelo weight. I was born ready at 164.5, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, Nacho Beristain, Hall of Fame trainer in the making. He recently spoke with ESPN Deportes, and he gave props to Chavez Jr. for his newfound work ethic. As you guys know, if you followed the storied career of son of Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez, if you looked at Junior's career, it's been a roller coaster. He's been in pink chonies, eating cereal, waking up at 5 p.m. in the biggest fight of his career at that time with Sergio Martinez. I don't see why you would be doing that. And I don't know, maybe they played it up for the HBO cameras, but that's what they showed. And he was waking up late. It was later found out that he had been smoking weed for whatever reason in that training camp because he tested positive. Just it was crazy. He got dogged for 11 and a half rounds. So I like to see this from Chavez. I think this is the type of fight where if he wins somehow, some way, if he beats Canelo, who is this HBO darling, he's this A-side boxing star, all will be forgiven for all the mistakes and shortcomings of his career. Quitting versus Fonfara, I do think he quit. I think he could have continued, but he was just off of a long layoff. He was getting beat up from the opening bell and outboxed, and he couldn't get off with his punches. And I think he grew frustrated more and more because Fonfara wasn't the typical smaller guy that he was used to. You know what I mean? It was a guy who was about his size, who can box. You know what I mean? That Polish boxing school and the Ukraine, but the Polish boxing school, they can box. There's a lot of guys that got boxing ability, and Fonfara showed that. And you've seen Chavez, he couldn't get into a rhythm in that fight, and he just kind of gave up after he got knocked down. But Nacho likes what he's seeing, and in case you guys didn't know from my past videos, Nacho Beristain, he's trained Finito Lopez, he's trained Juan Manuel Marquez. That's probably his two biggest star pupils. He's trained even guys like Johnny Gonzalez when he was a champion and stuff. So great trainer, you know, the Romanza gym. He's a legend in the game, but he likes what he's seeing from his new pickup, which is Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. brought out the big guns. He was with Freddie Roach. He went to Roberto Garcia. He had another trainer, I forgot the dude's name, in between this and the last couple of years. And then for this fight, the Canelo fight, the most meaningful fight, the fight that would really put him back on the map. Even if he doesn't win, if he has a strong-ass performance, if he hurts Canelo, anything like that, it's really a victory. So this is kind of a win-win unless he gets knocked out or unless he gets dogged by Canelo and dominated. Like if it looks like Sergio Martinez versus Chavez Jr. 2.0, then he's not going to get and it's not going to raise his stock. But even if he hurts Canelo, I think that would be an improvement. But Nacho, this is what he had to say to ESPN Deportes. I was surprised. It really leaves me very satisfied with the work he's doing, and it surprises me. I have not seen him put much effort into his work in the past, but now that has changed a little. The presence of his opponent has motivated him to change. And he was just talking about the cold climate where they're training. He said, the truth is it's very cold, but I was accustomed to the conditions when I was part of the Mexican Olympic Committee. What I like here, where they're at the Otomi Ceremonial Center, he said, what I like here is the work we've done. I was very happy to see Julio with such a disposition. It's a major fight for his career, and the sting of that pushes him to recover the vocation that he once had. So I guess it's probably something with a different altitude, and they're trying everything. Nacho finishes, says, right now we're paying attention to his defensive movements because he's a fighter with power and strength. He's abandoned the idea of defense, and I am of the idea that it is better to avoid the punches than to stop them with your jaw. Once again, I really respect this man, Nacho. He's a G. He's a real triple OG, as they say in the hood. You know what I mean? He's certified. And it's evident he has a boxing IQ. Even fights like he was training Johnny Gonzalez for the Gary Russell. But if you listen to Nacho Beristain talk, it's like he knew that his fighter was going to lose because he's that smart with boxing. Obviously, he didn't just come out and say, hey, my fighter's going to lose. But he didn't take anything away from Gary Russell. And he pretty much noted that it was an uphill battle, even though his fighter was the champion at the time. So I respect that because boxing is very real to me. It's a real sport. And a lot of times you get other trainers and they don't do that. They're not willing to, like, they know they're in a 50-50 fight, but they're going to say something crazy. You know what I mean? Like Freddie Rose, oh yeah, you know, Pacquiao's going to knock him out. He's going to destroy him. Like, I bet my house on it. Or Angel Garcia. He knows Keith Thurman is a formidable challenge, but he was like, Keith ain't shit, I speak the truth, you a bitch ass nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Yelling and stuff like that. Everyone else in the boxing world knows that even if you pick Danny, I picked Danny Garcia, but no matter who you pick, you have to admit and acknowledge that that would have been a good test for either fighter, Garcia or Keith Thurman, you know what I mean, based on the style matchups. But a lot of trainers don't do that, but Nacho does that. And Nacho, even another example from, because I've studied, you know what I mean, I try to study the greats and see what made them great. But Nacho Beristain, after his fighter Marquez lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr., he gave Floyd Mayweather all the P's and all the props in the world. He just said, you know what, that dude is just talented. He's very skillful. And to beat Floyd Mayweather, you got to bring a baseball bat to the ring. He's out of this planet. He's not from this planet. He's outer worldly. He's a great fighter. And to see a trainer put emotion aside, especially, like, just to be real, sometimes when you have like a race war, you know what I mean, like a Mexican fighter versus a white or a black or whatever, some people and sometimes race like creates and evokes emotion where people won't give it up. Like, you know what I mean, if you're from Kazakhstan, then some people just ride with Golovkin. Even if they felt Golovkin lost to Jacobs, they're just gonna ride with their person. You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of people in this boxing game work. So to see somebody just give it up, especially to the fighter who's from a different race and stuff like that, that's big. And just to give it up in general, you know what I mean, despite race, to admit that your guy is a great fighter, but he was up against someone who's just better and very skilled. You don't really see that. A lot of times it's trash talk and I mean, Floyd Mayweather, Freddie Roach knows the Mayweathers, you know what I'm saying? And I think he used to even spar with Roger or something. And he knows them. He knows them well. He studied the career. He's a trainer. But before the Pacquiao fight, he was saying that Pacquiao's going to knock him out. And Pacquiao's so strong, he could fight him one-handed, which coincidentally, allegedly, he had to fight with one arm because his shoulder was hurting until he put salt water on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, those are over-the-top statements to me. You know what I mean? And I try not to do that unless I really feel it. If I feel like someone's getting stretched in the first round, I'll say that. But you got to give respect to these fighters and just like I said, Will Smith and concussion. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You got to be truthful with this. And I appreciate the sincerity and the honesty of Nacho Beristain. That just lets you know that he's a man. And I know people that met him, they said he was no joke. He was like, he was about to take pictures, and then he was taking pictures with like some girl fans or whatever, and then the guy tried to like get real close, and he was like, hey, you don't have to touch me. Like, you know what I mean? We can just take the picture. You don't have to be all on me like a groupie. So Nacho's real. And I thought that was a funny story, but we'll see what Chavez Jr. can produce. I mean, to me, he really doesn't have much to lose. People already think he's a fuck up. People already think he's gonna drain himself and kill himself to make weight. So if he does remotely good, based on the fact of a lot of boxing media, a lot of boxing channels, a lot of boxing fans, they don't really break down fights, and they're not really realistic. It's like, oh, this person's getting killed, they're gonna get destroyed. And the problem with that is when you don't really analyze these fights and you just say all this radical shit, then when it doesn't happen, you look dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, even my 7 reasons versus Danny Garcia, okay, I got it wrong, but I mean, I got a ton of them right. Besides, I picked Garcia via decision. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, oh, he's gonna get rocked and knocked out, or, you know what I'm saying? I tried to be realistic. I didn't see Danny Garcia necessarily knocking out Keith Thurman, vice versa. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't do that. Golovkin's gonna kill Danny Jacobs. If Sergio Mora dropped him, he's gonna get killed by Golovkin. And you do all this to basically slander Danny Jacobs and talk about how he ain't shit and he has a glass chin, and then this glass chin goes the distance with Golovkin. The first time Golovkin really steps up in competition, he goes the fucking distance. And all of a sudden people act surprised. Oh, Jacobs did better than I thought. It's because you didn't think. You know what I'm saying? You didn't really analyze it. You just looked at recycled bullshit that everybody's saying. Oh, Sergio Mora knocked him down. You didn't look at the size and the height advantage and the fact that Jacobs has power you must respect. And I think a lot of people are doing that with the Canelo Chavez Jr. You know what I mean? They're just, oh, Canelo. I mean, that's, a lot of people need visual cues in boxing. They don't really know how to just really appreciate and break down the sweet science. So you, from the eye test, clearly Canelo has had the better career and he's looked more impressive. But when you mesh the two styles, what's on the line and stuff, you got to really break the fight down. And that's what I believe. That's why I made the video when it was first announced this fight was happening. 7 reasons why Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is not easy work for Canelo. And I think I made it even before I even knew Nacho was training him. That's just the added benefit. He has 2 of the greatest Mexicans in boxing in his corner. Chavez, his dad, Chavez Sr., Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., and Nacho Beristain. Now, they can't get in the ring and fight for him, but I still think this has the potential to be very difficult for Canelo, especially with the weight jump and the newfound focus of Chavez Jr. So that's all I got to say, really. You guys just got to be realistic, you know what I mean? It's easy to just, oh, Canelo, he knocked out Kirkland and Liam Smith, but I mean, I wouldn't say Chavez, despite all of his mess ups and stuff, he's not Liam Smith. You know what I mean? He's not James Kirkland. So we'll see what happens May 6th. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to definitely bring entertainment value, and it'll be a good spotlight on that fight. Let me know what you guys think of Nacho's comments. He's proud of the work that Chavez Jr. is doing. As you guys can see, like in the pictures, he's in shape too, and he still has plenty of time. He just has to work hard, but don't work too hard where you overtrain. You know what I mean? So he's walking a fine line, but I mean, if he has the right people on his team, he can pull it off and make weight safely. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.